in the footage. She wasn't there, of course. He was mistaken. Then I conducted an interview that said so much on so many levels, and his non-verbal communication spoke volumes. In fact, Keir refused to look me in the eye at all, and when I asked him why, he said, "Oh, I've got a crooked neck." It was pathetic. Like a scene from CSI, we had the tape assessed by a forensic psychologist who pointed out that Keir had never actually denied killing Jean. When asked if he'd killed Jean in a jealous fit of rage, he replied it didn't happen like that. However, he would not elaborate on how it had happened. Indeed, when I confronted him about the extraordinary coincidence that both his wives had ended up dead, he merely put it down to sheer bad luck. To kill someone is a very significant event. To cover it up and live a lie must have been exhausting for Keir, and he felt compelled to test whether his fabricated innocence was still holding. But the human body is a lousy vessel. Guilt eventually seeps out one way or another, but looking guilty is not a crime or grounds for a conviction. Seeking justice through the correct channels would prove an exercise in fortitude, patience, and resilience for the dedicated police involved and Jean's family, all of whom endured 3 long court cases. There has never been any justice for Rosalie. Prologue. The Homecoming. Fear. It was an all too familiar feeling for Jean Angela Keir, but she'd never known it like this, as it hungrily devoured the only part of her soul she still possessed. She shook, she shivered. The butterflies gnawed away at the insides of her stomach. Anywhere else would have been better than here. He'd created that fear, and she hated him for it. No, she despised him. How had her life come to this? What was she talking about? It wasn't her life anymore. It was his. No single aspect remained beyond his control. Her identity had totally vanished, lost in his psychopathic jealousy. Who am I? She'd always ask herself this question, but it never seemed to have an answer. Whenever she looked in the mirror, the reflection staring back at her was a ghost, an emaciated and thin stranger, an unrecognizable version of herself. Her delicate porcelain skin had turned a pale grey, and her long brunette curls had lost their shine and lustre. Her eyes had changed from a deep brown to a fiery red from an eternity of tears. They'd become hollow somehow. Her smile, her beautiful smile, had evaporated. Everyone, her mum, her dad, her friends, had all told her that her special sparkle had disappeared. He was responsible. He was literally driving her crazy. Possessive, resentful, he always teetered on the brink of insanity. Brutality was something she knew like a lifelong friend. Even wearing revealing shorts or a bikini resulted in him flying into fits of rage, laced with an anger that knew no limits. She bathed with her own son. He beat her. She played around with her cousin. He beat her. She wrestled with friends. He beat her. He'd always say, "I'll cut you up and feed you to the dogs if you ever leave me or touch another man." Visions of him laughing as he tossed scraps of her to his beloved greyhounds raced through her head. How could she go into her house? How could she be left alone with him? Freedom. She'd tasted it for the first time in years. The man sitting next to her had given her something that her husband never could. Staring blankly out the passenger-side window, she regained her composure and turned to her lover. "Carl," she said, "I don't want to go in. I'm scared of him. He'll kill me." "You have to. He's your husband, and you guys need to sort this out." "But I'm in love with you." "I know. I'm sorry. There's nothing I can do. You guys are married." Terror engulfed her as she stepped out of the red Renault station wagon and saw him standing on the veranda. Moving towards the front gate, her breathing became shallow and short, as though a python was constricting her chest. She walked straight past her husband, keeping her head bowed, too afraid to make eye contact. Thomas Andrew Keir had been waiting for hours. With each passing minute, his anger and resentment grew. He could feel the fury frothing and bubbling.